welcome to episode 3 of Geneijin 101. It's going to cover Shotos, so Ken, Ryu, Gouki/Kuma, and Sean. We're going to go over all the basic crap. We're going to use the universal combo in order to show some enders, and then we're going to go into combo routes specific to Shotos, but these will also work on other characters, but you can get that information in their own videos separately as well. So we're going to cover enders, and then we're going to cover the special ender, which is the KO ender. We're going to cover Zippo tension stuff, and then we're going to cover resets and some character specific things. So first let's talk about the universal combo that also I showed on Dudley. So if you're a newbie, for a medium kick, stand medium into palm. Requires a walk before every button. And then you have your enders. So that first ender is light fierce kick up kicks, roundhouse up kicks, into light punch shoulder, into forward fierce, into Kara dash punch. Kara dash punch is done with light kick into light punch, like you are doing a delayed plank from Street Fighter 4. So anyway, now we have the dash punch enders. So you have fierce punch, dash punch, stand medium kick, forward fierce into Kara dash punch. You have standing medium kick into super jump, medium kick, dive kick, crouch medium punch up kicks. It's very difficult to do. I don't suggest doing it very often, but if you want to have some fun, you can go for it. It's not the best damage and it's not the best meter, but it is an option. There are a couple players like Nika KO that love this ender just because it's fun to do, but there are very few situations that call for it. The only time that I could think of that you would use this successfully is after a mid-screen reset, where you have to go the entire length of the screen pretty much, and you end with a dash punch, usually a medium punch one, walk forward, standing medium kick, and then jump, super jump, neutral jump, medium kick, dive kick, or heavy kick, dive kick, depending on the spacing, and then crouch medium punch up kicks. In order to get the up kicks consistently, hold down the medium punch after your crouching medium punch, because otherwise you may get shoulder. Now, then you have your shoulder enders off of their combo, which is dash punch, light punch shoulder, into forward fierce, into Kara dash punch. And then you also have the other combo, which is a very delayed fierce punch dash punch, into walk forward, light punch shoulder, into forward fierce, into Kara dash punch. This is not an ender that I use very often, so please excuse the mistakes in the combo. There we go. Now, you also have your shoulder enders, which before we go through to those, I'm going to showcase a new combo route, and this is the default combo route versus Shotos for medium kick palm ×2, and then you do that twice, usually. So you either can do palm or standing medium, standing heavy punch into whatever you want as your enders. So for the shoulder enders, we have forward medium kick, palm, forward medium kick, stand fierce, fierce shoulder, forward fierce into dash punch. It's also doable off of 2 medium punch shoulders or light punch shoulder into medium punch shoulder in certain situations. You also get the same thing if you do 2 medium punch shoulders. You will be able to walk forward and crouch medium punch up kicks if you do the timing correctly. Oops. So you also have double standing heavy punch into, I'll show that one first. Heavy punch, medium shoulder, forward fierce, dash punch. So that's a situation that you'll come up with, or come up against in combos where you have done pressure strings and your opponent gets hit and you confirm into something, and then that's a likely scenario that you'll see. And for the crouch medium punch up kick sender against Shotos, you actually have to walk 2 whole steps. You have to walk 2 whole steps in order to get it to work. There we go. So it's not ideal. You want to sort of stick to the other enders if you can. Now the coup de grace of enders is the KO ender. And that's done with that's a very bad combo, but anyway, the combo basically is standing medium kick, or sorry, yeah, close standing medium kick into palm, into light punch shoulder, into forward fierce, into dash punch. Now, you have to buffer the dash punch halfway through your forward fierce so that you get it on the first frame, and it requires a Kara for your dash punch, just like pretty much everything else. Now, we'll get more to the KO ender when we get to resets, but just resets and Zenbo tension stuff. But just know that that's sort of the best option that you have if your execution is consistent. Now, when you're going through the situations where you would possibly want other combos, there aren't very many. You know, it's mostly going to be situations where you have forward medium kicks or far stand medium kicks or something else as a replacement. You also have forward fierce. So as another baby combo, you have that. It's really not used all that much, forward fierce, unless you're aiming to go forward to the corner, which is normally in situations where like you're mid-screen and you have to do a dash punch or something, right? A good example of this is what works on every character. Off of crouch medium kick, activate, you can do crouching light punch or crouching light kick into forward fierce dash punch, as long as you are under the middle of the timer or forward, so that you can get the correct screen pull. Now, as far as combo starters, you have crouching medium kick activate, standing medium kick activate, and the combo for this is palm, forward medium kick, palm, forward medium kick, palm, and then you have your ender. If you are capable of doing fancy stuff like Kara palms or true Kara palms, which is double Kara, then you can go for those if you want to really go for damage, but I wouldn't suggest it against characters that you didn't hit crouching or counter hit with your standing medium kick, because it's sort of a waste and it's very difficult to do. But let's get back to the other combo routes that you have. You have the other universal combo route, which is fancy, which is walk forward Kara, standing heavy punch, and then palm, or walk forward palm. Now, the reason this is important is because this is the combo that you use if you play a very reset heavy game, because your opponent can be reset off of both the palm and the standing heavy punch. Because if you were to reset off of forward medium kick, so let's say you're doing, forward medium kick, palm, forward medium kick, jump medium kick, your opponent actually lands before you. So as you can see there, my opponent and I land either he's before me or we're at the exact same time. So doing a reset in this situation isn't really worth going for. You're too far away for a Zempo tension off of it, and it's just a waste of time. But if you were to do it off of either a far stand heavy punch or a palm, you can get your combos off of that. Now, as you can see there, if you don't delay your dash punch after some of the palms, you won't hit your opponent. They won't be far enough down the screen, and the hitbox for your first hit of your dash punch is not going to connect. So, when you are going for other fancy combos, like Kara palms, which is forward medium kick into a light kick Kara for your palm, then you get the same enders. That's going to be your highest damage outside of true Kara palms, and that damage is not that much higher. True Kara palms obviously do a lot of damage, but they are very inconsistent unless you spend years and years and years and years and years doing them. And the only players that, to my knowledge, have done that and have consistency are myself, AC Slayer, and then for as far as non-Japanese players go, some other players can do them relatively consistently, but not like 90%. And then in Japan, you have Saryu, Mester, Shinta, although Mester doesn't do them much anymore. There are some other players that did them, like Gao, and it's just something that a lot of players over there don't do. It's not considered worth it to them. Most of those players are not training mode monsters. They just sort of play at the arcade. They don't go home and practice combos. They don't, do that sort of thing. So going for Kara palms, in my opinion, even though I am a hypocrite because I go for them all the time, is not worth it. And it's because it's incredibly difficult to do them consistently. So, I do apologize for my shitty execution tonight, as I am not feeling that great, but it's okay. I am doing this with a headache anyway. So let's continue on. When you are doing basic Geneijin stuff against Ken with, your whatever you're doing, you can freestyle it, you can get decent damage, you can get decent enders. It doesn't really matter. Most of the things are going to net you the same-ish damage and the same-ish meter within 5 or 6 damage. And the same thing can be said about Zempo Tension. So, Zempo Tension is something that I have an entire video on for this character, the Shotos, and I'll go through a quick explanation of things here, but there is another video for that if you want more information. After I go through these Geneijin videos for every character in the game, I will go through and make Zempo Tension videos for every character in the game, because they are very in-depth, because you need to think about how many hits your opponent gets hit with or blocked, and all that jazz. So, just as an example, not using KO enders, if you were to use a very basic combo, like let's say, forward medium kick, palm, into like up kicks and stuff, it's like 36 damage into, what is it? It's 39 damage into 25% meter. Whereas a very basic reset, which would be like forward medium kick, stand fierce, heavy punch shoulder, medium punch shoulder, forward fierce, Kara dash punch, you lose 5% meter and you lose 3% damage, but it's also, relatively the same. Same thing for other things. We have like 32 damage, 20% meter, But if you were to do KO Ender as an example, you can get 44 damage, 45% meter. That's 20% more meter, which is a huge difference. It's 50% more technically than what you would get normally. So an example of that would be like this. And then we have like single standing medium punch light kick chain or combo, which I consider a 1.5 hit basically, but 2 hits blocked. So as an example, you could get like medium punch shoulder, walk forward palm, walk standing heavy punch shoulder, medium punch shoulder, and it's like 38 damage with 25% meter. So that's an example of that. And then you have like 4-hit stuff, right? Which ends up being with no whatchamacallit, with no KO ender. So you end up getting about 30% meter and 36 damage. Otherwise, you have KO ender as well, which is relatively easy to do for this setup. You can do it off of that sort of a setup, or you can do it off of a heavy kick that up kicks, and then walk forward into forward fierce as you walk under them, and then follow it up with a heavy punch dash punch, standing medium kick into KO ender. Now this is relatively consistent as long as you know how to time things, but I haven't practiced it in a while, so give me a couple attempts, and if I don't get it, just trust me that it works. So as you see there, if the timing's off by even a split frame, then the forward fierce is not going to come out for the KO ender. Otherwise, it would have worked there. And I missed my Kara. Oops. I missed it again. You don't need to Kara, but it's very useful as far as getting the correct timing for the correct timing and height for the KO ender. Two more attempts, and if not, then you're just gonna have to trust me or watch the other video, because I definitely hit it in there. There we go. I hit it then. So that's like close to 50% meter. Yep. That would be 57% with 2 crouching medium punches. Then you have blocked hits above 4. So let's say that, they block 6 hits. You would have like 4 medium kick, light punch, shoulder, forward fierce into dash punch. That's a very basic combo, 35 damage ish into about 30% meter. And then you also have like medium kick, up kicks, medium punch shoulder, medium punch shoulder, medium punch shoulder, like going ping pong type thing. But that's not really what I suggest doing. You also have things like for medium kick, medium punch shoulder again, which would put him back on the other side, and then you'd have crouch medium punch up kicks. You would have needed a light punch shoulder and a dash punch there, or a another medium punch shoulder into up kicks. And then, yeah, there's more for 9 to 10, 11, 12. So like, let's just look at 12 real quick. Basically, you're doing it until the last second so that you can get that combo. Now, if you were to do 3 crouching medium punches, you get 55% meter off of that, which is a lot. Now, damage-wise for the Xbox 360 off of Zenpo Tenjin, like, the damage meter is messed up, so don't really worry about that. You also have the option to, although I don't suggest doing it, walk forward, light kick into medium punch up kicks, into forward or medium punch dash shoulder. But it's not really the best choice. It's just kind of flashy. You can also go right into Daipon loop. But again, it's not usually the best damage or the best meter. So that covers Zenpo Tenjin. Now, it's important to note that when doing things against Shotos like resets and stuff like that, you always have to be wary of if you let them drop to the ground and go for Zenpo Tenjin resets, they're going to DP, or DP is going to be an option. Ken is going to have a good super. Gouki, if they have full meter, can do like Demon. So you have to be wary of a bunch of different options from your opponent when you're going for these resets. So the first reset that you can do on them is the dash punch into universal overhead. And then you also have the forward fierce Kara stand medium kick, jump medium kick. And then you also have the forward fierce punch, jump medium kick. There's a bunch of different options as to like how you can get your reset in the corner. But it's not like one way is technically better than the other. As long as you're good at freestyling what your damage or what your ways to make sure that you get the hit is, like I cover in my reset videos, and you're good at maintaining your composure when doing freestyle Geneijin stuff, then go for them as much as you want, as long as the situation warrants it. You have all sorts of stuff like if we were to make him not block, that would be a situation where you can get KO Ender, and it's about 90% life, 85% life against crouching opponent. But he's standing. So as you can see, the 5 there was a little bit too much. Oops. So we'd need 4. Now, this stuff is very difficult to time consistently because of the Kara standing medium kicks and, relying on your opponent to get hit by resets that let them fall. And yeah, it's very hard. So I do have a list of these that I will make public in another video. So when you're going for these sort of resets, you have to understand that your best choices are always going to be making your opponent be as high as possible when you hit them. So in order to do this, it's either going to be in the corner off of a fierce punch dash punch, or it's going to be off of a jump medium kick. You can do medium punch dash punch as well, but it's going to be a little worse. Now, in the mid screen though, you need to do the medium punch dash punch. But you also need to walk forward. So, take that for what you will. Oops. And because if you do the heavy punch one, and you walk forward, you just whiff. And if you don't move, then you just whiff too. So it doesn't work. You have to do the medium punch shoulder, or the medium punch dash punch, if you want to do the universal overhead stuff. So now we go into crouching heavy kick. As you can see there, it whiffs. Right? Now, you might be thinking, well, that shouldn't whiff. 2 hits usually hits everyone. Wrong. There are a couple characters in this game where the crouching heavy kick reset does not work consistently without a Kara, or altered timing in your Daipon loop. Shotos are one of those examples. So as you can see here, you have to do extremely late, extremely delayed Daipon loop in order to make this work. So you're basically canceling the last portion of the hit as opposed to an early part of the hit to continue your combo. Whereas you need a slightly faster variation in order to go from one side of the screen to the other. So if you want to be doing the reset, it's important to note that if you intend to do it fast, you need to do a Kara off of your second standing medium punch, standing heavy punch. Otherwise, it's not going to connect. Now, it's still easier off of slower ones as well, even if you Kara it. But off of 3, you definitely need the Kara. Just like that. If you don't do the Kara, you can hit it, but it requires extremely slow timing, and it's something that very few people that I know go for. Doing it off of 2 is the most consistent scenario. So, especially against Ken here, going off of 2 is probably your best choice. Going off of 3 is risky if you don't time it correctly. I'll see if I can get the slow time for the no Kara for the 3. But as you can see there, it requires extremely strict timing, and it's just not worth learning in my opinion. But the Kara is worth learning because it works on every character in the game. I'll give it one more attempt. There we go. I only have probably about 11 or so hours into practicing that. It's not something I go for in a match very often. I would rather just keep it simple and do the crouching heavy kick off 2. But when you're doing resets mid-screen as well, you can do the Kara stand medium kick. But in order to do the Kara stand medium kick, you have to do medium punch shoulder instead of heavy punch shoulder. And I messed up the KO ender. But that's an example of like getting KO ender off of pretty much any reset, right? And it's important to know that like all the different resets for Shotos and stuff, like it's mostly done off of Daipon loop. The goal here is to get as much damage as possible before you do the reset, so that you can get almost almost as much damage as you would in a normal combo, while still getting 50% meter. Now, obviously I'm messing up a little bit, but you get the idea. 55. With 2 crouching medium punches, it's about 58%, 59%. So, you know, the little things matter. Now, character-specific things and other Zenpo Tension crap that I'll talk about is you can still do the reset on him. You can also do the jump medium punch reset, or the jump light kick reset, however you want to call it. But it requires very specific spacing in order to get it to work. Your opponent needs to be pushed to the side of the screen, like under their name. Because as you can see there, if you do it at the wrong timing, you will just not be able to do this. So I find it easier off of jump medium punch. You can also use jump medium punch as a reset option in general, especially in the corner. So if you choose for jump medium punch instead of medium kick, it's something that your opponent will have to guess, because they're not going to be used to you doing forward fierce. And you can do it off of this as well, as long as you carrot it. But it's very difficult to get. So when you're doing Zenpo Tension crap, you don't really need to worry too much about like what your choices are, because it's mostly going to be the same, like I said before. All of your reset options are there, and character-specific things off of a normal Zenpo Tension, you can do walk forward, standing light punch, or light kick into up kicks. You can't really do a whole lot of special stuff out of Zenpo Tension against Shotos, so medium kick, up kicks is your bay, so to speak. Getting KO ender is, you know, relatively good off of resets. So that's another example. You also have so that should have worked as well. So as you can see, no matter when you do your reset, there's going to be a way in order to make your ender work or allow you to do KO ender. So that was another way to get it. I'm just going to show you the palm part because there's no reason to continue after that. If you do that at the correct spacing, just ending your combo with a whatever, a standing medium kick, then you will be allowed to do the KO ender as well. Needs to be just a little bit higher than that. So yeah, there's a plethora of different ways that you can continue to try to get KO ender, and the easiest way to practice it is to do this combo: forward medium kick, palm, forward medium kick, stand medium, Kara standing heavy middle kick, and then go right into it. So I'll showcase it one more. Didn't get the forward fierce that time. You also have the Zenpo Tension crap that you can test it off of. You can get it off of Zenpo Tension stuff, so there's a lot of ways that you can get it on Shotos. But this covers pretty much everything that you need to know. about doing Geneijin stuff against Shotos. When they are crouching, you can easily do Daipon Loop across the screen. I will, I guess, showcase that as well. And then you also have, Keeper Jin and stuff like that. But Keeper Jin is not worth doing, like, at all, unless you're just trying to be fancy, right? That's Keeper Jin, Fierce into Crouching Medium into Kara Fierce. And then you have, you would have forward, after 10 of them, you can get KO Ender as well. Try one more time. You need to be able to get the forward fierce, or the forward medium kick. So, was it 9? I might have written it down wrong. Yeah, it's gotta be 9. One more attempt, but trust me, it does work. Yikes. I'm missing the 9th hit consistently. Fuck. Alright, one more time. I'm missing my Kara. That's very weird. So, yeah, so you can get it off of that as well. So basically, off of any situation, you can get KO Ender against Shotos, but mastering KO Ender takes a long time. So just stick with the basic stuff. Also, if you're not comfortable with doing the Daipon Loop against crouched opponents, you can do Crouching Medium, Stand Fierce into Fierce DP, or not DP, Fierce Dash Punch against twins, or not twins, against Shotos. So you have plenty of options as far as like getting your opponent to the corner. And you can go into KO Ender off of that as well. It just takes, understanding of when to go for it, how many hits you need to do, and all that crap. Ta-da! No hit. But, yeah. So this has been Shotos, and it's important to note that you still can do the you can KO Ender. If you really want to. So that's the easiest way to practice it if you really want to do this Ender. 3, 4, dash punch, medium kick into the combo. Yep, you see the crouch medium punch work that time? There we go. So that's that Ender that I was talking about earlier. I just figured I'd revisit it because why not? I'll have another video on actual damage resets for all of the characters at some point, so look forward to that, I guess. But until then, this has been Geneijin 101. Choices against Shotos.